Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Gurudev. Narvika Giridhari. He has huge feet. Giridhari has huge feet.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Very beautiful. Okay.
The theme they gave is the power of the holy name. The theme.
Oh, the theme is the power of the holy name?
Yeah.
Well, I should be able to handle that a little bit. Okay. So like by the grace of our gurus, we're like given the chance to, daily take the holy name and enter into that kind of merciful experience. Our gurus give this to us by their kindness. As far as, somehow or other we've all, in one way or other, kind of stumbled upon this, finding maybe some qualified, no doubt, but mostly happening by the higher grace and the blessings of the gurus. Particularly, well, it's hard to say. We remember Srila Govinda Maharaj the most because he was with us probably the longest amount of time. From when was it? 80. From at the time of departure of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, 88 was it? I think, yeah, 88, and to what? 2012. 2010. So a long time we had the mercy of Srila Govinda Maharaj. And, particularly Srila Govinda Maharaj was so, kind and welcoming to us. Generally we had experience of, like Srila Prabhupada, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, were a little bit, maybe it was just me, but a little bit distant. They were a little bit more up there, inaccessible. Like they would take prasadam separately and so many things like that. But Srila Govinda Maharaj, he would take prasadam with us. He would sit with us and talk with us and, treat us like a friend. And what kind of amazing, mercy is that? That such a, we can't even conceive how great of a soul he is. But yet he, came to us and gave us direct association. I mean, somehow or other, by the grace of our gurus, we had some chance to come in contact with that kind of amazing grace, amazing kindness at the lotus feet of Srila Govinda Maharaj. And like sitting here, at least we can remember Srila Gurudev sitting there and, casting his glance to everyone. I think it was, like all great Vaishnavas, I think, Srila Gurudev had that knack to be able to make us feel like, oh, he's looking at me. And everybody's thinking he's looking at me. But he was simultaneously, he was able to do that. Who knows? It's some kind of mystic thing, I guess, that the guru can, simultaneously look in different directions. And I guess it's a view, it's a view of the heart. Because he's looking at us with his heart, and we're like feeling and sensing it with his heart, each one of us is like able to enter into a whole different kind of, world. These great Vaishnavas, they live in a transcendental world. And we just get glimpses of that every now and then by their grace. And even now, just a look at Srila Govinda Maharaj, just a look at Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Saraswati Thakur. It's like we have the chance to like feel that kind of world. It's not, it's not illusion either. Because why? Because they're extending it to us. Each one, like amazingly, inconceivably, each one of them has got a unique personality, a unique kind of mercy that's being extended to each one of us. So if we look at Saraswati Thakur, we see that kind of dignified personality. Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that deep kind of personality. Srila Prabhupada, that, all-encompassing kindness of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Govinda Maharaj, like all the things combined together in Srila Govinda Maharaj. I remember seeing like that somehow or other, as these great souls appear before us and, come before us to give us their mercy, it seems like each successive great soul is carrying the combined mercy of the previous great souls. So I guess in that way, Srila Govinda Maharaj's mercy was like unique. As was Srila Prabhupada's mercy, obviously unique and amazing. And then somehow or other we're dying because Srila Prabhupada has left us. And then we hear that Srila Prabhupada gave us the chance to take shelter of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So coming there and sitting before Srila Sridhar Maharaj, I can remember thinking, wow, this is just like I was sitting with Srila Prabhupada. It's like the same thing. This kind of, not only the same thing, but, simultaneously one and different. This amazing kind of personality here, still with us. And then again, after Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he's giving us Srila Govinda Maharaj. And this kind of mercy. And I think, how it works is that, it depends more on our heart than on it also depends on the extension of the hearts of the great souls. But to reach out and to take that depends on our own individual hearts. And, when we open ourselves up to this kind of mercy that comes from the great souls, then our hearts grow, our hearts expand, our hearts, begin to get a glimpse of that kind of world that they're living in. Like coming to temples, we live outside, we have a temple in our house, things like that. But specifically coming to temples like this, seeing the deity in the temples is, it's a whole different glimpse. It's a whole different experience every time. And that's how it should be. It should be for each one of us like a unique experience every time. So to look for that, to try to feel that and see that as we grow in our devotional life, by the grace of our gurus, they're like pulling us. But by the grace of their gurus, every time we see the deity, there's a chance for a different kind of experience. Every time we sit before Srila Govinda Maharaj and his Vyasa-san, we have a chance for a different kind of, deeper experience. He's always looking at us, with that kind of like open, giving glance. And with the representation, the photo representation of the great souls is not just, we all know this, it's not just an ordinary picture. There's life there. And there's life there because there's a living, deep life in the personality of our gurus. And that personality comes through for each one of us in different ways. Like, Srila Govinda Maharaj, meant different things for me, but particularly his kindness and his friendship, just like, inconceivable. And yet everyone, seeing and feeling in Srila Govinda Maharaj that kind of different, merciful glance, and before him, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and before him, Srila Prabhupada. And I think, by some fortunate, I was there to be with them, but I understand at least enough to know that their presence and their mercy is not limited by their, physical presence. It's a whole different, it's a whole different program. It's a whole different world that goes on in the land of the gurus, that they will come to us with their hearts and touch our hearts in a very special, wonderful, unique way. Looking at Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I can remember in the early days with Srila Prabhupada, there was just a picture of Saraswati Thakur there. And it was kind of like, who is this personality? He's the guru of the greatest guru in the universe. How is it possible? But yet, this kind of inconceivable stuff is possible in the spiritual realm. Greater than the greatest, and the greatest, and the greatest. And on back it goes to, to Krishna himself. We have that kind of prospect in our lives, that kind of, ongoing living fortune that comes to us by their higher grace. Yeah, for seeing Srila Prabhupada, I remember first Srila Prabhupada was coming to the temple in Detroit. I had been I was initiated maybe a year and a half, something like that. And I was thinking, I'd been reading the books, when the great soul appears, you have to spread a mixture of water and yogurt before their lotus feet. And, obviously this meant that, when they're arriving in some holy place, you do that. But I was thinking, no, we'll do it on the cement. So, so I was so sure that was what I was supposed to do. Srila Prabhupada walks up, and I had this bowl of yogurt and water, and I flipped it down in front of him, and he looked at me and said, no, little boy, you shouldn't do that. And I was thinking, oh well, I tried anyway. But yeah, it was that kind of inconceivable wonder of experience at every turn. And then Srila Prabhupada's class, I remember first hearing his class and thinking, this is, trying to understand, this is like a living guru who's directly the spiritual world coming to me in this this personality and this presence, trying to like meditate on that kind of possibility of like feeling and entering into that kind of mood of, you know, surrendered receptivity to the sound, opening my heart to the sound of the, you know, the blessings of Sri Guru. And, you know, sure enough, by his grace and by the grace of the, you know, the Vaishnavas around me, at this time I was like maybe just initiated, so I was a newer devotee in the temple. But still, by Prabhupada's grace, these things were there for all of us together. And I think it's like true for each one of us now, that we have that, you know, we have that experience, we have that real feeling that comes to us, particularly like when we come together with the different Vaishnavas. We help each other. Our similar desires, our hopes for the best thing for ourselves and for everybody around us. It kind of like, it actually really rubs off. So when we come together in groups like this, it's not ordinary. It's different. I mean, even different than maybe our temple in Salt Lake City, because we're kind of used to everybody. But coming here together with everyone from all over the world, it's a whole new life. It's a whole new blessing that comes to us by the grace of our gurus and by the grace of the, you know, the Vaishnavas. We may not feel like we're Vaishnavas. We may not feel like we're devotees, and naturally we shouldn't. But at the same time, when we look at Srila Govinda Maharaj and we try to remember his kind of, at least get a little glimpse of his kind of vision, then we can see that, you know, the Vaishnavas around us are really precious. And we have a real, like, opportunity and a chance to get their shelter and to get, like, the feeling of reality coming from the Vaishnavas' hearts. And this, you know, this kind of thing is special, particularly like somehow or other sitting here looking at the picture of Srila Govinda Maharaj, knowing that he was actually seated there and, you know, giving his mercy to us all. It's different. It's a different place. He's left his, like, his mark, his image is like irrevocably there. You know, more so than other places where he's not been. You know, his presence is there for all of us, always. And it's like really cool that we can conceive of that and think like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm like 75, it may be like tomorrow, it may be in 10 years, who knows, but I'll have to leave. But at the same time, having had the opportunity to get the shelter of real Vaishnavas, we know that we don't have to leave alone. We know that we don't have to leave, you know, this world without help, without, you know, kind assistance all along the way. You know, that kind of prospect nobody has in this world. You know, practically nobody except those who live in a world of faith. Those who live in a world of, you know, the association of the great souls by faith. That kind of world we all have, you know, like the chance to live in and feel and experience by, you know, by their grace. We've got that, like, unique perspective on life. And sometimes it just blows my mind if you think about how many of us are here. How many, even now there's going to be 200 out of, you know, like, how many in the Bay Area? How many? 8 million or something like that? So like 200 out of 8 million. I mean, we can't even hardly appreciate it, but at the same time, just to hear that and remind ourselves of our fortune, it kind of like we rub off on each other. We help each other grow. We help each other get a deeper and deeper sense of the presence of the reality of our great gurus and our great masters and teachers. I don't know, any questions?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
You're one of the person who've been chanting the Mahamantra in the West since quite a few decades.
I joined late 1969, yeah.
Do you have some specific advice to increase quality and avoid offenses? Try to invite the holy name to
Yeah.
fully.
I mean, the first thing that I think of is that, why do we have the holy name? It's by the grace of our gurus, and each one of us has a particular like Diksha Guru relationship, and that relationship is like special. That relationship has to do with like the realm of spiritual existence that's like beyond time and space. We have the chance to kind of take advantage of that kind of possibility in our lives. We always have that, we always have that chance. We always have the fortune to be able to remember, at least to try to remember, to take shelter of that kindness. Like looking at the picture of Srila Govinda Maharaj, just his face is such kindness, and then to see his lovely lotus feet. It's a very, it's like, it's not of this world. Those are not ordinary feet. They're like beautiful, transcendental feet that can carry us, beyond our temporary, the temporary parameters of our mind and intelligence and all these things. The lotus feet of the Guru are like wings that can propel us, beyond this material world. The Guru's always there for us. We just have to, in our lives, try to remember. And it's not easy. I mean, we have the chance to every day chant on our beads. We have a chance of chanting in arti. We have the chance of, like, when we see devotees, when we see Vaishnavas around us, we have that chance to, like, share in this, like, amazing type of life that we have opportunity to enter into. We have that, we have that chance. We just have to try to work ourselves into being, more and more conscious of these things. I mean, like I'm telling you, I've been since 1969, but it seems almost like, yesterday. It's surprising, but it is. I can still see walking into the temple when I first came to the temple in Detroit, and there were these first little Jagannath deities, and I was amazed at Jagannath's eyes. And then later these big Jagannath deities came with massive eyes, and I just thought, wow, this is like, ordinary deity. You see a form like we're used to seeing, but with Jagannath, not just a form we're used to seeing, but an unbelievable form of smiling face, beautiful eyes, all these like inconceivable qualities, just poof right there before us. It was such an experience and such a feeling. And this is like, my initial feeling, my initial experience. But, that kind of experience was there in a different way for everybody. everybody can feel like that sort of like amazement. We have like a chance of a world, to be in a world of amazement. We just can't remember. So how do we remember? How do we practice that remembrance? Basically it comes down to, the real thing is to help each other. To help each other remember more and more. How, our gurus have given us names. Munindra Mohan Das. I was like Sri Govinda Das was Prabhupada's name he gave me. And then later, by the grace of Srila Govinda Maharaj, Bhakti Vigraha Nyasi, which is like, it's like for any of us, we get these names that signify a particular position, which we're not really, at. We're not at that kind of position yet. But yet at the same time, we're given this kind of entry to a whole different plane of existence by the grace of our gurus. Sitting in the temples together, it's a different world for us. We're all kind of coming together from different circumstances, different situations, and we kind of see each other based on those, our previous experiences together and so many things like that. But, simultaneously, there's a much deeper thing going on that we can only like a little bit sense. But, to like meditate on that and appreciate that in each and every devotee is like such a hopeful blessing that we all can share, that we all can be together in that that shared sense of dedication and devotion that is descending to us by the by the merciful glance of our gurus. Like I said, each individual glance is different. Each individual glance carries a whole different transcendental personality, gives us a whole glimpse of that kind of world that we have the prospect of being in. That kind of world where everyone is loving and everyone is devoted and everyone is dedicated and everyone has your best interest at heart. That kind of potential world is there, ready for us. And I guess it's like unlimited. There's no limit to it. We'll grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and it never stops. We may all get some feeling of encouragement, enthusiasm, being together with the Vaishnavas here, but that kind of experience will stay with us in the heart. We may forget it now and then, but the reality of our experience together with the Vaishnavas, that's an amazing thing. That the Vaishnavas association isn't limited in the material sense. The Vaishnava association is with us always. So even together, we're we all maybe consider ourselves kind of new devotees, but nonetheless, even being new devotees, that kind of blessing is conveyed through our gurus, through us, through each one of us, in a calculated way. Our gurus have blessed each one of us, and based on that blessing, each one of us has the potential to give such a wonderful thing to our beloved friends. We have that that potential that we're all carrying with us. We just don't always remember it so easily. But coming together, discussing, feeling the reality of the Devotees Association, that gives us a whole different, a whole different world. And to be conscious of that, it's it's cumulative. To your question, we have to every day participate but knowing that by our day by day participation, it's not just, happens one day and then is lost the next day. It will always be there with us. We have that kind of like living chance to grow and be with others, with our friends, in a whole, a whole life of freedom and, the life of the soul that we could, we can see even now, even those of us who haven't maybe seen Srila Govinda Maharaj or Srila Prabhupada or Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that chance is there for each one of us. And it's an amazing thing that we can like offer that to our friends. We have that capacity to give these things. Even if we can't see it or feel it or experience it so much, we can know that it's there. And we have this kind of, wondrous life that we've been blessed with, that we can share with others, that we can convey with our friends, that we can, like, share in a life that only is a life of, like, potential. It's a life of like possibility that's, really beyond our grasp. But it's there and it's real. And all we have to do is look at the lotus feet and the lotus face of our gurus. And in that vision, there's like confirmation for us. There's constant confirmation for us about the reality of the transcendental world, the world of our real self, the world of the soul, that, temporarily we're carrying these different bodies based on our karmic situation, based on the combined mercy of our gurus. Who knows how it all comes together? But we have this possibility of, entering into that kind of life, in spite of ourselves. In spite of our, conditioned natures and kind of distractions with the material self. Yeah. Other questions?
How to develop the taste for holy name? The main thing is develop. I heard a Srila Guru Maharaj, he said, after we have the taste, ruchi, then we are safe. Before that, we can fall down.
That's I remember hearing that also. But then then you wonder, what does ruchi mean? I mean, I guess it's
taste for seva, holy name.
Yeah. I mean, we decide to render service. We enter into that kind of life. We have the chance of like, getting the blessing of that kind of existence, even though we don't have so much like qualification or experience for it. We have that that world that our gurus have given to us. It's always always open, always available. I can't think of anything else. Any questions? Okay, I'm looking at Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and I don't know, I told you this story, I don't know. But I remember going to Srila Sridhar Maharaj at first. Did I tell that story already? No. Anyway, I went to see Srila Sridhar Maharaj at first after having, been like without Srila Prabhupada for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, something like that. And to sit before Srila Sridhar Maharaj was like, hard to even express, but it's that kind of like feeling that, wow, this world is still there. It's still accessible for us. It's still, in spite of the fact Prabhupada is gone, and later Srila Sridhar Maharaj is gone, and now Srila Govinda Maharaj is gone, still accessible for us by that kind of wonderful mercy that, is there in the pure Vaishnavas. The Vaishnava's heart is the life of, every living being. Because what's life? Life means the life of the soul. Life means the life of the understanding who we are as soul, and what our position as soul, and what we do as soul. This kind of ability to be able to enter into that kind of life is like a constant blessing coming from our gurus. And if we can remember to take shelter of that blessing, it'll always be there for us.
Will you share some of your just coming to Krishna consciousness and to Swami Prabhupada?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Maharaj
Yeah, thank you, Dee Dee.
It's been a lifetime.
Yeah, well, I can remember I was working. It was really strange how Krishna arranged things, but I was working as a technician in a cadaver lab. That was my job. I would wheel the bodies in, and then I would bottle the parts after the students dissected them and stuff like that. So it was like living experience. You're not the body. So anyway, while I was walking home one day, suddenly there was this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And I was just like, whoa, what is that? So the first few days I crossed the street and avoided them. I was thinking, this is like, whoa, what is this? And then finally this really, the wife of my temple president eventually, Krishna Bhamani, came up like all smiling and happy, and here's a back to Godhead, why don't you take this, it's so beautiful. And yeah, I took it, and when I looked at the cover, it was like the cover of the Back to Godhead was Beyond the Universe. And I saw this like picture of like Mahavishnu and this whole thing, and I'm thinking, wow, this is something that I've always, and it was a feeling that this is something that I've always kind of sensed and known, but I've never really been able to, I haven't been able to find it. It's always been like somehow or other inside, but hadn't been able to be manifested yet. But then coming in contact, with Srila Prabhupada and with the devotees, that kind of like potential in life became like super real. And remember first going to the temple, there would be arti and chanting, and then in the evening they would have hot milk and halva. And that like finished me. It was like, okay, I have to come back for that halva. And that was like every other day, and then every day, and then eventually, can I move in? I really like that halva. And yeah, within I think like 2 months or something, I asked if I could move into the temple, and the temple president was Bhagavan at that time, and he said, no, you can't move in. Sorry. And I said, what do I have to do? He said, you have to be more developed or something. And I was thinking, what? what can that possibly mean? So I decided that I'm going to like renounce my house. I'm leaving my parents' house. I'm going to live in my friend's van. And in that way, I'm going to show Krishna that I'm willing to renounce. So I moved into his van for like a couple of weeks. And finally, I went to Bhagavan and said, look, I'm living in my friend's van. I have nowhere to stay. You have to let me stay in the temple. He said, okay, you can stay in the temple. So that was like the entry into the temple. And then at that time, it was really nice because every day we went, this was Detroit, we went downtown Detroit and did Harnam Sankirtan, passed out Back to Godhead magazines, and just like 4, 5, 6 hours every afternoon just preaching to people one-on-one. It was very, it was really potent and really like life-changing, life-transforming to be able to, like, I guess we all have some experience of Krishna consciousness, even the first time we walk into the door. But when you go out and you need to speak to people in like a convincing way, you have to put things together in such a way so that you understand it and that you can convey that understanding to other people. So it comes out, you develop on your own in reciting about your realization in Krishna consciousness, and other people grow, and based on their growing, you grow more, and the whole thing is really powerful. And I think that's one thing that we've kind of like have missed out on as we've like developed in Krishna consciousness over time, that to like really daily do that. I guess the bodies can't take it so much anymore, but to really be able to present that kind of Krishna consciousness in a like cogent way, and thinking through Krishna consciousness, depending on the perception that you kind of pick up on each individual person, and how you can like give Krishna consciousness to each individual person based on their own particular nature that you're kind of trying to sense, and to present it in such a way so that they'll get a feeling for what we've all felt for so long in Krishna consciousness, that the feeling and the sense of life that's beyond the life of this body, a life that's like a real life. Wow, that we can be together in spite of still being in the temporary world and stuff like that, but we can still be together and share on that kind of transcendental level, on a different kind of level. We can be with our friends. We can be with our beloved associates in Krishna consciousness, and live a life that's at least pointed towards the highest, the most auspicious reality for all of us. That kind of blessing is like nowhere to be found in this world. Somehow that we've all walked into a temple somewhere, somehow, and we've gotten that sense of reality. And that sense of reality, like I said before, will never leave us. It doesn't matter how many lifetimes it may take us to return back to home, back to Godhead. But we'll never lose what we have. And that's like nothing you have in this material world is like that. It's the only thing that we can have forever is, our shared spiritual experience and our shared spiritual growth. That's like life. That's what life is for. And when you look at the lotus face of Srila Govinda Maharaj, that's his life. That's the life of Srila Prabhupada. That's the life of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Their kind of life, is our life, our prospect, our future. Not only future hope, but also the existing hope, the existing feeling of what what we have and what we can share. Sorry, I wish I wasn't so spaced out. Yes, Dee Dee.
Oh, I just said I'm pretty spaced out.
You're sharing in the spaced out, huh? Okay.
Uh-oh. No, I'm not trying to.
Let's see.
What was the name of those deities in that one?
Oh, right. I'm remembering Kishore Kishori in Chicago.
Chicago. You are my favorite
The deity is in Detroit. I can't remember. Radha Govinda? I don't think so. That was New York. I can't remember, but you know, at first there was Jagannath, and then really big Jagannath came, and that was, I always somehow or other I was my imagination, I guess, but somehow or other I always thought, you know, Balaram is my friend. He's always going to help me, and I always, you know, took specific shelter of Lord Balaram, you know, in spite of that kind of offensive idea that I had, that kind of entrance, but still, you know, Balaram was very, very merciful, and I remember going to Rath Yatra in different places. I forget all the different places, but there was always Lord Balaram was there, and he was always the same Balaram. I remember thinking like that you know, Balaram is always there and what is Bala? Bala means strength. Bala means the you know, the capacity to maintain ourselves in spiritual life, the capacity to like kind of transcend our previous conceptions of, you know, who we are, who we were, to transcend that life that was, you know, just touched with material contamination. You know, to at least embark on the path of, you know, leaving that all behind. That was like, you know, what a breakthrough. What an unbelievable breakthrough. You know, because previous to coming in contact with Krishna consciousness, I think none of us had any idea of what the potential was for our lives in spiritual life. We had no conception. Maybe a like deep down sense from previous birth, or from just kind of a sense of who we really are, but no real deep notion of what the, you know, what chance we all had. And you know, now sharing in that chance with our friends is like, there's no life like it. There's no life that can be compared. Previous our lives was, you know, based on calculation and you know, personal selfishness and stuff like that, in different ways, in different degrees and stuff like that, but nonetheless like that. But now we have like at least an avenue and a way in which we can like see ourselves and see our friends in a whole, you know, through the light of our gurus, you know, kind mercy. We have that kind of chance.
We almost run out of time.
We have?
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness. Huh?
Radha Kunja Bihari.
Radha Kunja Bihari?
Yeah. In Gaurnitai and Jagannath Baldev Subhadra.
Oh, okay, Radha Kunja Bihari. Okay, right. That was, yeah. Kunja Bihari. I think, yeah, that was later, after the deities were there. Prabhupada later gave that name, as far as I remember, yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, I know Kishora, Kishori. My Prabhu always used to mention.
Kishore, Kishori, yeah. Yeah.
He used to have their picture after he
Where?
up here when he lived.
Oh, really? Oh, Ramai, of course. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I lived with him in San Jose.
Ramai joined in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
He came with his friend Devananda Pandit and one other, Yadavacharya Goswami Das. Those three just one day they just showed up, and they were there. And you know, Ramai, of course, was like, I think within a few months he was already like the assistant pujari. He just like immediately entered into that whole scene, and he was, you know, to see Ramai and to see Kishore Kishori was like they went together. They were, you know, just like natural. He was like a natural Vaishnava pujari. Just, yeah, somehow or other, we had that kind of like a chance to meet some kind of personality like that. You know, looking back on it, even from a perspective of how we can see Krishna consciousness now, we can like remember that just that kind of nature of, you know, such a, you know, natural, dedicated pujari person. He was just like, you know, Ramai was a pujari. That's it. He was the pujari. And, you know, to think back and remember that we had that kind of fortune to have a friend like that is really like amazing. Because when, you know, we talk about Ramai now, and it's, you know, he's like still here. He's all, you know, he's with us, no doubt about it. And that's like such a cool thing, that even our friends leave us temporarily, they're always like with us. You know, you talk about Ramai, you talk about other friends who've left.
Siddhanti Maharaj.
Huh?
Premik Siddhanti Maharaj.
Premik Siddhanti Maharaj, my gosh. I always forget that he's not with us anymore. He was such a...
so much time with Gurudev, not with
yeah, he was such a, you know, such a presence in a personality, Premik
I
Siddhanti
was there
Maharaj.
actually when he offered his book, Religion of the Heart, to Srila Gurudev.
Oh, wow, okay.
And Gurudev was telling him, I tried to find fault and I couldn't find any fault.
Yeah.
I happened to be there. So.
Yeah, Siddhanti Maharaj, my gosh.
Sometimes he was scary. He was kind of, I like him, but he would act very strange. He just talk, he and sit up and have his legs out and say, hey, happy, but
Oh, yeah. I remember so many things about Siddhanti Maharaj. I can remember that we were in Govardhan, I think, and it was particularly hot in Gurudev's room. And all of a sudden, Siddhanti Maharaj was like gone. And, you know, later, somehow or other, I came outside and I saw he was on the roof.
Yeah, he liked the roof.
Spreading water to cool the room for Srila Gurudev. I mean, you know, what kind of a personality is that? That he's thinking in that way, how to serve, how to serve, how to serve. You know, what, you know, amazing personality, you know.
In Navdeep, we used to clean all the toilets, all the gutters.
Yeah.
Very
Everything.
good service, genius service.
Yeah, cleaning everything.
You'd also go and clean out the prasadam pit in Navdeep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was a really, really nasty job.
Right. I remember that. Yeah. I think I tried once to go there and I couldn't handle it. But he was like there constantly.
That reminds me, didn't you have the experience of that cobra
Yes.
kissing?
Yes.
That was you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the prasadam pit. Yeah.
From the Prashant pit.
Yeah. Well, first, As far as I remember, first I heard the hissing, and I looked around, and there he was. And I was like, don't move. But somewhere or other he like disappeared after a little while.
Jai.
Jai Mahal Prabhu.
He's here.
Yeah.
What did you say, Prabhu?
Mela man. I saw him coming yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Much.
Time passed.
Yeah, I personally want to go to the next class.
Oh, okay. There's out there?
Yeah, in the Panda.
Okay. Good.
If you wanna go.
Yeah, I definitely want to go. Should we chant now, or?
Yeah. But you chant
I already did, yeah.
in the beginning.
Okay, so let's just offer Dandavat.
Huh?
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Offer Dandavat, yeah.
Have a good day.
Jai Gurudev.
Nyasi Maharaj ki jai.
Hi.
Thanks for sharing
Yeah,
those treasures.
yeah, something.
Can I say one more thing?